The 7th of August, the day after the celebration of the Transfiguration, is the day the Anglican Church remembers one of its priests and hymn writers. John Mason Neale was born on the 24th of January 1818. He was the only son of the Reverend Cornelius Neale. The latter was senior wrangler and first Smith's Prize winner at Cambridge in 1812, and Fellow of St. John's College. His mother, Susanna, was the daughter of John Mason Good, and her religious opinions resembled those of her husband. Cornelius died in 1823, and the widow, with her son and 3 daughters, went to live at Shepperton, where the little boy was placed under the charge of the rector, William Russell, with whom he maintained a lifelong friendship. In 1836 he won a scholarship at Trinity College, Cambridge. He was accounted the best classical scholar of his year, but although the son of a senior wrangler, he had so rooted a distaste for mathematics that he would not qualify himself to become a candidate for classical honours by gaining a place in the mathematical tripos. The rule which rendered this necessary was rescinded in 1851, but Neale took an ordinary degree in 1840. He won the Members' Prize in 1838. After his graduation, he acted for a while as chaplain and assistant tutor at Downing College. He was not elected Fellow. In 1845 he won the Seatonian Prize for a sacred poem, an achievement which he repeated on 10 subsequent occasions. On Trinity Sunday, 1842, he was ordained priest at St. Margaret's, Westminster, and the next day he accepted the small living of Crawley in Sussex. But the climate was unsuited to his frail health, and he was not instituted. A visit to Penzance proved no more satisfactory, and with his wife Sarah he went in the first week of 1843 to Madeira. The next 3 years were spent between Madeira and England, and during this time he was busy with his pen. In the autumn of 1845 Neale moved to Reigate, and in the spring of 1846 he was presented to the wardenship of Sackville College, East Grinstead. Sackville College was a charitable institution founded in 1608 for the shelter and maintenance of 30 poor and aged householders, under the charge of a warden, not necessarily in holy orders, and 2 sub-wardens. The stipend was only £27 a year. He remained at East Grinstead for the rest of his life. While there, Neale founded a well-known nursing sisterhood. It began in a very small way at Rotherford. In 1856 it was brought back to East Grinstead, where it still flourishes under the name of St. Margaret's Sisterhood, an orphanage, a middle-class school for girls, and a home at Aldershot for the reformation of fallen women were one by one attached to the sisterhood. The work grew, and he was anxious to see the buildings of the sisterhood enlarged. His last public act was to lay the foundation of a new convent for the sisters on St. Margaret's Day, the 20th of July, 1865. But he did not live to see it completed. His health utterly broken down, and after a period of severe suffering, he died on the Feast of the Transfiguration, the 6th of August, 1866. His domestic life was eminently happy. He left behind him a widow and 5 children. Neale is best known as a writer. As a translator of ancient Latin and Greek hymns, he has no equal. But he was a writer on an infinite variety of other subjects. His linguistic powers were enormous. He knew more or less 20 languages. He was a true poet, and his Latin verses are not less graceful than his English. A story is told of Neale's placing before John Keble the Latin of one of Keble's hymns with the words, "Why, Keble, I thought you told me that the Christian year was entirely original. Keble professed himself utterly confounded, until Neale relieved him by owning up that he had just turned it into Latin. John Neale has 24 hymns in our Anglican Hymns Old and New. Only Michael Forster and Graham Kenrick have more. Many of the hymns are translations from the Latin or Greek. I wonder, did you know anything of this man in all the years you sang Good King Wenceslas?